Well, it's so simple, guys, and I'm here to help us figure it all out. All right. Everything in this life has a cost. Everything has a cost. You want something, it costs something. I'm not talking about money, okay? But everything does. It has a cost. And everything also has a payout, okay? So costs can be really high or they can be really low, and payouts can be positive or negative. So it stands to reason that the greater the cost of something, the higher the payout, but that's not necessarily true. What is true and what is certain though is that if you really want something, you really want it, and you're not getting it, that means that you don't really want it. Or you want something else that you don't know about, okay? Because if you really wanted something bad enough, you really wanted it bad enough, you'd figure out the cost, you'd put in the work to make it happen, and eventually you'd get the payout. You'd get that thing. Because we want things for the payouts. That's what we want, okay? So, but if you're trying to get something or you're not getting something that you want, you don't really want it bad enough, okay? And that's because you either, like I said, you either want something else or you don't know what it is you want, or you don't really want it that bad. Okay, so this gets into something really interesting here. So when you don't know what it is you really want, or you want something, you want two different things, right? Or you don't know what it is you want, you're in denial. That's denial. That is denial. Not knowing exactly what it is you want is denial. And when we're unable to get what it is we apparently want, not what we actually want, we feel unempowered. We feel helpless. And the payout for feeling unempowered and for feeling helpless is being a victim. That's the payout. So when we're feeling unempowered or feeling helpless or we're being victims because we're not able to get what we apparently want, or we don't know what it is we actually want, it's not that like we're lying to ourselves. It's just we have to do a little bit of work and figure out what it is we actually want. Sometimes the payout for denial is if you keep paying the cost of denial. Denial is a big cost. Denial is a big cost, and it's mostly a negative payout. But if we pay into that, sometimes the positive payout for denial can be knowing what it is you don't want. And if you know what it is you do not want, it makes it easier to know exactly what it is you do want. Okay? But anyways, that's that. So if we do really want something though, we figure out what the cost is, and we put in the effort to pay the cost, and then we'll get the payout. Okay? So as we start to learn about what it is we want, actually, we start to learn and uncover our value. We start to learn and uncover our own personal values in certain areas. And so when I know my value in a certain area, that's a boundary. Like, I was in a situation with my job at one time. I was working with kids in a school, and there was another employee, and they acted in a way that was really aggressive and inappropriate towards a child. And the cost for me to stay in that job was, you fire this employee. I'm not working with this employee. That's the cost for me to stay with my job. And they didn't want to pay that cost, so I quit. That was the payout for them not paying the cost. I told them, and I quit. So that was my boundary. You see, they had to pay my cost, which is my worth. Okay. Now, everybody has boundaries, whether they know about them or whether they not. When we know about them, though, it it means that we know about our worth. Okay, and so when we know about our worth, we know what we cost, that's empowering. That allows us to look at situations based on what we want and make the appropriate choice to put in the cost to pay out or the effort to get the payout, right? I didn't really want to look for a new job, but I'm worth more than that working in an environment where people who treat children like that are not reprimanded. That's not my worth. So I quit and I got a better job. So you have to live, you have to try things, you have to go out there and see what it is you don't want sometimes. But it's really simple. You just got to look at yourself and what it is you want in a situation, look at what it costs, what it takes for you to get that, and then get it. And the payout, if it's not what you thought it was, you can go get something else, or you can do something else, or you can work to get what you actually want in a different way or somewhere else. All right, I don't know. This was just boom. So hopefully it makes sense. All right. Remember, figure out what it costs. Know what you want. Figure out what it costs. Put in the effort to get it and make it happen. And if you're not getting it, it means that there's some conflict within you. You don't actually want it, or you want something else that you don't know about. You got to figure that out. Sometimes you got to figure that out. But until you figure that out, you're not going to get what you want. All right. And then that's denial. And then knowing what it is you do want, knowing your worth, that's a boundary. All right. Peace out.